So at this point in our meeting, you should have seen those two notifications, one that the meeting is recording and the second one that is being live streamed to the City of Albany's Custom Public Meetings channel. It is now 5:16 on October 25th, and we're calling to order the public hearing to discuss the cabaret for Bull and B. And if you could introduce yourself, and if the other person that's here on your behalf would introduce themselves as well for the record.
Yes, I am William Yeager. I own the property at 12 Central Avenue, where the Bull and B is applying for a cabaret license.
And I am Dan Deneen, the operations manager for William Yeager.
And from the City of Albany present, we have Kashana Burt, Deputy City Clerk, Alma Speed, Information Clerk, Danielle Gillespie, which is myself, City Clerk.
Hello, hello.
All right. So the City of Albany regulates the issuance of cabarets. Part of the process for a new cabaret application is that you come before us for a public hearing. We will ask you a series of questions that center around the content of the information that you provided in your application. We will also ask some clarifying questions. You can ask questions of us regarding the process. Okay.
Yes.
Did I cover everything?
I think so. I don't know. That's my first one.
So in reviewing your application, one of the immediate things that stuck out to me is that you provided a liquor license, but it's for a different establishment located on Hamilton Street for the express purpose of, it's like a meadery. So where are you in the process with your application for the liquor license for the Bull and B?
Okay, so the property at 140 Hamilton, which is the corner of Phillip and Hamilton, is a farm meadery. It's an agricultural, ags and market law. So we are allowed to have a liquor license there, which we sell only New York sourced alcohol. So from spirits from Albany Distillery to our own mead that we make there and other local beers, but it has to be sourced New York. So with this license, we are allowed 5 branch offices and to do the same thing anywhere in New York State. New York State came up with this law in May of 2019. We were one of the first applicants. We were one of the first people to actually get the license. Turns out we are also one of the first people to apply for a branch office license. So they really weren't ready for it. They didn't have the applications made. We had to use a farm cidery application and alter it, then they sent it back. It's a whole rigmarole. So we will be getting it. We already have a farmer's market license, which means we can go to any farmer market or any place selling things and we can give tastings of our beverage and or anything sourced New York State. We are very hopeful and pretty positive. We already have a serial number for our second location, which is 12 Central Avenue, where the Bull and B will be conducting business in the same way it is at 140 Hamilton. That is why I thank goodness Miss Ama, she kind of clarified it for me, because we checked the box saying that we are going to be serving alcohol, and we will be, but it's all tentative, and so we've unchecked that box, and we will come back to it as soon as we get our liquor license in order.
Okay, so we may, if it is determined that a cabaret will be extended to your establishment, there may be a modification on it or a note that there is no liquor because you don't have the liquor license in place yet. And we'll get clarification from our attorney.
I don't want to misrepresent here. We are using catering licenses right now. So we have people catering alcohol on the premises as we speak, but they're not under our liquor license. So as events come, much like Empire Live downtown right now is going through it, they are also using a cabaret or they have a cabaret license. What they are using is a catering license right now. And we're using the same folks they are.
Okay.
So it's very much, it's a holdup in the SLA right now. There's some things have been happening in the government, I think we're all aware of, and I'm sure it's all for the best, but licensing is kind of in an interesting spot right now. So we have no doubt that we will be getting a liquor license because I already have a liquor license in my name. So usually you get the first one and it's really not a problem after that. Plus this establishment has had a liquor license there since 1986.
All right. And now I'll turn it over to Ms. Burt, the Deputy City Clerk. She'll ask you a series of questions. I may jump back in for additional questions. And also Amos Speed may jump in with additional questions as well.
Absolutely.
Hi, good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
Just for the record, to make you aware, there are 6 different parts of the approval process. The police department, our corporation counsel, our law department, planning department, our building and regulatory compliance, the fire department, and your council member also is asked to sign off on the approvals. I don't know if we had you do this, but state your name and association with the business.
I did do it, but I'll do it again. My name is William Yeager. I am the sole owner of 12 Central Avenue, and we're here for a cabaret license for the Bull and Bee.
And my name is Dan Deneen. I'm the operations manager for the Bull and Bay.
Okay, thank you. I understand it's your intent to apply for a year-long cabaret. And can you state for the record your maximum occupancy?
Our maximum occupancy as of right now is 155 people.
And your square footage?
We are at 2,100 square feet.
Thank you. You said you guys are currently operating, but under caterer's license?
Yes.
So are you open from these hours, 4 p.m. to 4 a.m.?
No, we're only open for events at this point until we can get the liquor license sorted out. We're just trying to be there. We don't want the business closed for any amount of time because we don't want to lose any momentum that the business had in the first place. We bought the business and it's important to keep the lights on, if you will. But we are not open because we only have catering licenses for events. You have to apply for them individually. So we had one for the 15th. Now we have one for the 27th, which is the Mayoral Fundraiser we're having there this Wednesday from 5 to 7. Love to see you all there. And then we have one on the 29th. And then we have one on the 30th and 31st. And that's all we have right now. So it's hard to get these catering permits too, and they cost money per day, per permit. So it's getting daunting for sure.
And I'm also noticing that you're proposing even for Sundays to be open up until 4 a.m. Do you think that would be like a consistent thing once you're fully up and open to?
I would like to clarify, we are zoned for 4 a.m., but we have all intents of being closed by 12 to 2. 2 a.m. at the latest. We would like to keep the option just in case something's happening like New Year's Eve or like there's a function. We're expecting to be open from 4 p.m. to 2 a.m., but we do not want to lose the ability to stay open to 4 a.m. if we want to. Does that make sense?
Okay. Right. Well, the cabaret wouldn't determine your 4 a.m. It would just determine what time your entertainment has to end.
Yeah, got it.
Okay. And by that, what type of entertainment do you plan to have?
So we plan on having live entertainment earlier in the evening. So that'll be from like 4 or 5 p.m. till about, we're going to say 9, 10, and then club events afterwards. But when I say club events, I'm not talking about angry club events. These are going to be like goth night or 80s night or, something to this effect. Actually, those are what people really want to see. This club, this particular space has been running at this since 86. It's been open till 4 a.m. I know that go ahead. Actually, I'm not going to open my mouth too much. I will be quiet now. Yes, that's the plan.
That's the plan, right? Okay. We talked about the liquor license and, once you have that, you'll make sure you submit that document to us.
Yes.
Now let's talk about your soundproofing and what steps you'll take to limit the bleed over from the noise.
Right. So that there was some issues with sound complaints, I guess, about 5 or 6 years ago at this club. And what they did was hang sound barriers and shutterers. Basically, they're cloth, framed cloth sheets that are hanging in the club that keep the noise from reverbing out the front door. We'll also be keeping the door closed as much as possible.
Right. Okay. Well, you spoke on the history of noise and complaints. So you said the last known complaint was probably about 6 years ago, you think?
That's when the last one I heard of was. I also hired the prior owners, Jimmy O'Toole and Al Famiano, to be consultants for the next 6 months. So we have them at our disposal. So they're the ones that are tutoring me on what has happened in the past. Because although I did help build the QE2 in 1986, and I worked there for 13 years, I haven't been involved in the fuse box in the last 10.
Right. To build on that, are you aware of any violations on the state or federal, local level from that location?
After doing my due diligence in buying the business and also buying the building, there was nothing anywhere. There was no violations. I think they had a fight infractions 4 years ago in the front of the bar, but it wasn't patrons. It was somebody that wanted to come in that was already drunk and disorderly. They didn't let them in. So like that was the only blue card they had gotten.
Speaking of establishment management, and are you going to have security guards there? And what is the training security guards that you'll employ?
Right. So there is a difference between security guards, doormen, and then hosts. I understand where we're going with this. Absolutely. So if we do have any security guards or bouncers or whatever you would like to call them, they will be New York State certified with a New York State security license. I'm hoping to not have events that would need them. And I'm trying to keep it in a different, more relaxed, no drama genre. No drama genre. Oh, we can make t-shirts. That's a good one.
No drama genre.
It's just because on your application that you noticed that you would have 2 dedicated employees for security when you offer an amplified sound. So that's the purpose for us asking that question, because we want to, if you're employing security personnel, what are the qualifications?
Right. Anybody that's security will be New York State certified with a New York State security license.
I also noticed about the soundproof, and I know you talked about the drapery to help contain it. There are mentions on the application about soundproofing foam. Can you tell me what that entails?
What is it? OHM? Ohm?
Foam.
Foam, yeah.
F-O-A-M.
Yep, foam. So foam, we have certain foams that are used in sound booths, in sound studios, and they're shaped in certain ways. Like sometimes they're egg cartons, but yeah, that's in the hallways and on some of the ceiling. We have soundproofing foam that is fire retardant, and we've already had it checked, and we have the actual make of it. And we've also had all 3 inspectors that have come through have certified that this is not Providence, Rhode Island foam, which is highly flammable, unfortunately. But this is
okay.
Yeah, this is there is foam there, and it is my insurance has said that it's the correct foam, and we are insured for $5 million, and it's yeah, we're good. Yep. And then they cut it in like a jacket. You can come and see it anytime. I'm sorry. I know this isn't here, but I would love to have you all there for sure.
Thank you. Part of the review process includes our building and regulatory compliance. And once we submit the app, they'll come out to do a site visit to check for any code issues. Have there been any known violations in the past? And if they have they all been corrected and
so there's no known violations that I am aware of, but we have had we had a public assembly inspector come through already, and we had that approval, and we've already had our fireman code already come through already. Is that correct, Miss Ama?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I have the documentation.
Okay, thank you. So I'll open it up to you guys. Is there anything you want to put on the record uh, for us, for the consideration of your cabaret? Would you like to say anything?
I think that we're going to be an added benefit value for that area of Albany and Lower Central Avenue. We're excited to carry on a legacy that's been going on for 30 years. I would also like to say that I feel like the cabaret license is obviously needed, or it wouldn't be here, but I feel like it's a lot because we've kind of gone through the same thing that we're doing here with you already with 3 other entities with insurance. We already did it with the city, but it's fine. But I would also say thank you very much to Miss Ama Speedy for dealing with my crazy manicness. She's really helped me through the whole process. I appreciate the time and thank you for this opportunity.
No problem. Mr. Deneen, is there anything you'd like to add to the record?
I'm just happy to continue the fuse box and its history.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Ms. Speed, Ama, is there anything you would like to add or ask that I might have glossed over or looked over?
No, I believe you covered everything. Thank you.
All right. I'll ask the city clerk, is there something that she'd like to add to, or?
I do apologize. I do have a question. You stated that right now you're only open for catered events, and those hours of operation is 4 p.m. until 2. And then you said you wanted to leave the option open for it to be 4 a.m. for, let's say, if there's a holiday with like New Year's Eve or some other holiday coming up. Did I say that correctly?
You did. And like, although we've already had some events there and they've always wrapped up by 2 o'clock, but I don't want to pigeonhole myself by saying 4 or 2 a.m. because I'm hoping that the world will get back to normal someday and we'll actually have a place to go. And I don't want to lose that place. And the thing is although that was very much, it was very much the reason for me buying the business itself was to get the 4 a.m. grandfathered in there because there are no nightclubs left in Albany. This is the last zoned nightclub in Albany County that I'm aware of. You guys can tell me if I'm wrong, but I feel like it's a part of our culture, especially mine. And it's important to protect that and to keep it for the next generation, if you will. So although not everybody's a big club goer, I get it. And I am not either. I'm at 52 now and I don't want to be up till 4 in the morning. I get up at 4 in the morning now, but I do need to try to make sure that I can protect that whole part of our community and culture.
So when you keep saying 4 a.m., because I don't think there's any more nightclub variances anymore. So how is that still the threshold for that? Because I believe they did away with that when they came in with the cabarets.
Right. So we're grandfathered in because we bought the business. We bought the fuse box.
We'll get confirmation on that from our corporation. So,
Yep,
and our buildings department, because sometimes the variance is with that original owner and it may not transfer. So we'll get clarification on that.
That's fine.
Double back if there's any inconsistency.
I think it went with the business and I understand what you're saying. I've already been in talks with Mr. Brad Glass about it. And he said that as long as that it's been continuously operated, that it would still stand. So, I mean, whatever you feel is best, Miss City Clerk, and I'm at your mercy, obviously. But this is, I've invested a lot of money on Lower Central Avenue right now. My house is fully leveraged. I've bought this building in downtown Albany on a very interesting block, if you would say. So I'm all in on this and making this the best it possibly can be. So I'm not going to let anything happen there, and I'm going to protect it with everything I have because I'll lose my house if I don't. And my wife, who's sitting over there, will not be happy. So we're doing this. We're going to do it correct.
Understandable. So we'll do some additional research on that regarding how late the, if the 4 a.m. is still permissible and if there's any issues with it transferring over to the new owner, because you had mentioned something about continuous operation, and I know there was a break in operation as it transitioned ownership. So we'll get clarification on that.
That's fine. So when we bought it in September, the liquor license was still active and they had paid taxes to that exact second. In fact, they still had a liquor license up until 3 weeks ago. As a venue, they were only allowed to reopen in June of this year because of the COVID pandemic. So during that time between June and when I bought it, they've had a few events that were private events, and that's what constitutes that it hasn't been closed, or the only hiccup was world mandated and COVID related. But that's fine. Whatever you feel is best. Go and absolutely, I'm with it. Yes, I want to comply and help and be a part of this city that I already own 5 businesses in all over it. I belong to 3 different bids now. And I'm from here, born in Albany, Albany Med. I grew up on that block. And we own businesses on Lower Madison Avenue, laundromats. We own a tattoo shop on Lark Street. We own a tattoo shop on South Pearl. We own 2 barber shops, one on Howard Street, and we own one in the concourse with OGS. So in the actual Empire State Plaza. Yep. So I'm very used to doing business in Albany, and I understand there are a lot of particulars, but I'm here and whatever's got to be done.
Awesome. That was all I had.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you all for participating in tonight's public hearing. And just so you know, Mr. Yeager, the city clerk doesn't approve or deny. We just take in the apps and we disseminate them to the appropriate agencies for their review and approval. And the public hearing is actually required under the law that we do it for all new applicants.
I'm with it.
So
Ms.
that's,
Alma,
we don't get to say yes, we don't get to say no.
Ms. Alma told me all about it, and thank goodness she was here to make sure she's been schooling me. I'm good.
Yep, Alma's great.
Yep.
So we'll conclude the meeting, the public hearing on Cabaret with the Bull and Bee DBA Fuse Box. It is 5:39 p.m. Everybody have a good evening, okay? And give us a call if you have any additional questions.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you all. Thank you.